starting pointers for the I's, Y's, and T's shoulder exercise. The biggest thing to point out here is that keep the weight really light. It's very easy to use too much weight for this exercise and then you'll end up working the wrong muscles. So with this exercise, we're actually going to start with no weight at all to make sure we get the form. And then after that, I recommend using cans to start with. Peach slices are a good choice, but any can will do. And then once it comes time to using an actual dumbbell of some sort, definitely keeping it light, like between 2 and 5, like you could work up to 5 pounds, but definitely don't start there. More like the 2 to 3 pound range, just because of the way this exercise is. So we're looking to do 2 sets of 8 to 12 reps or so. And the part where you want to be feeling this exercise is in the shoulder muscle here. So this is going to work your rotator cuff, your deltoid muscle, and you also want to be feeling it in here, in your upper back, okay, between your shoulder blades. Those are the main areas you should feel the muscles working. If when you're doing the exercise, you start feeling a lot of activity on the back of your arm here, your triceps and such, you're using too much weight and you wanna. All right, let's go ahead and get into position for the I's, Y's, and T's shoulder exercise. So first of all, I've got to take off my vest. It's, I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty cold out here today. So I'm trying to do my best to stay warm while also being attired so that you can really see my form. So that's a little tricky today, so bear with me. For this exercise, we're gonna just start using our hands. We're not gonna hold any weights, just so that we can really get an understanding of the position of our arm and our shoulder joint for each part of the exercise, okay? So the first thing is, like, what do we do with the rest of our body here? We're gonna be in a little bit of a mini squat and a hinged over position. So what that means is you'll have your feet about shoulder width apart. And what you're gonna do is just kind of bend your knees a little bit so that you're in a little bit of a mini squat, okay? So a little bit of bend in the knee. From there, we're going to also hinge at the hip a little bit, keeping a neutral spine, so we're not gonna bend down with our spine. We're gonna keep our spine nice and still in a neutral, and we're gonna, from here, hinge forward so that we're halfway between straight up and like completely parallel with the ground, okay? So little knee bend there, and then hinge forward like so, okay? So that will be our starting position, and you wanna feel your weight across your whole foot. You don't wanna be kind of like leaned over on your toes or like too far back on your heels, okay? Just feel that weight across your whole foot. So this will be our starting position. Now from that starting position, you want to pull the shoulder blades in towards the middle of your spine, kind of in and down the back. This is just the starting position for the shoulder blades. As we do the movement, there's a lot of range of motion in this exercise for the shoulder joint, which is great. What that means is like we'll be starting down here and we'll be bringing the arms way out here. We'll be bringing them overhead. So what that means is you want the shoulder blade to move with the arm in a natural way. So you don't want to like hold them pulled in, you know, to the middle of your spine and like not let them go. Like you want them to go with the arm, but this is kind of that starting position rather than kind of being hunched over, okay? So that's how you'll start with your body. Now with the arms, they're gonna be just hanging down to start, but what I want you to notice, I'm gonna go ahead and make a little fist with my thumbs sticking out. What you're gonna do is turn your thumbs so that they're facing out. What this is gonna do, it's going to put our shoulder into what's called external rotation. So the arm bone is rotating externally in the shoulder joint, okay? And this is gonna be very good because that's gonna help train a particular rotator cuff muscle. So this is our starting position like this. You should feel your chest being kind of like more broad with a lifted sternum. So here's our starting position, just like so. And how far you hinge over can vary. So, you know, it requires core muscle strength to keep our spine neutral when we're hinged over. So if you find like it's too much, like it's really hard for your core muscles and you're starting to round your back, in that case, what you can do is be just a little bit more upright, and you can also bend your knees a little bit more if you're having trouble keeping that neutral spine, okay? So there's room for a little variation there. The idea is you feel your core muscles working, but it's very doable so that you can focus on the shoulder exercise and those muscles working, okay?
Hi, I'm Rizal,
If you're a woman in your over 40s like myself and you've been wanting to get into strength training at home, but you have felt intimidated, I get you. It can feel scary at times. So what I do is create tutorials that really break down every single movement, like fully in a step-by-step manner. That's the kind of thing I would want, because I'd be like, well, what do I do with this finger? So I will show you what to do with all your body parts. And if you like my style of teaching and you'd like to keep learning with me, come on over to my website at inspireforwomen.com. One more thing I wanted to point out before we begin is the importance of keeping a neutral, elongated neck in this position. So you don't want to be extending your neck up or down like that. And you also don't want to have your shoulders hunched up towards your ears, okay? So just keep everything in here nice and elongated. And you want to think about your neck as an extension of your spine, right? Like it's just kind of all going at the same angle with the angle of the spine, okay? All right, now to do the movement, we've got our thumbs pointing out, hands hanging straight down. What we're gonna do is first bring them out into the T pattern. So they're gonna go just straight out to our sides, like so, okay? So just out to here, just until where it's comfortable. Then you're gonna bring them back down. And then now we're gonna go to the Y. The Y is gonna be up like this, and now the thumbs are kind of pointing up more towards the sky, right? So into a Y position. And you're gonna go up just as high as feels comfortable. Then we're gonna go back down, and now the thumbs point directly up, and we're gonna go directly overhead, right to the front of us, like so, okay? Doing a T, Y, and an I, that's 1 rep. All right, so let's look at it from the side now. So here we are, little bend in the knee, hinged at the hips, neutral spine, core gently pulled in, thumbs pointing out to the sides. We're gonna go ahead and go directly out for the T as far as feels comfortable. Come back down. Now thumbs a little bit more towards the sky in a Y position. Here we go, and then back down. And then overhead, like so. Now, one thing I wanna point out is that with movements where we're going overhead, which the Y portion and the I portion are going overhead technically, right? Like if I was standing up, I'm going above my head, right? So we're bent over, so that's what's happening. Some of us have limited range of motion when our shoulder tries to start going overhead. And that's okay. That's something that can kind of improve with time. One of the issues with that is our thoracic spine can get kind of stiff over time and not as flexible, and our mobilization in there might not be as good. So if we strengthen the muscles in there and just work on that, that can help us to be able to get our arms more overhead over time. So the point is, in this exercise for now, you just want to go as far as is pain-free, okay? So don't force it further if it's causing any pain. The other thing to mention here is that as you do this overhead thing, you don't want to start kind of arching at the spine. That's kind of a subconscious thing we might start doing to like feel like to try to get the arms higher. So when we're bent over like this, you want to really think about the spine like literally not moving or bending whatsoever. So it's really all the activity is right here at this shoulder joint. So whatever you can do, only moving from the shoulder, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a couple more here. T, Y, I. T, Y, I. And then from the front, remember each time you come back to the beginning after doing the T, Y, and I, you want to make sure that you turn those thumbs back out to your sides, because we finish here with Y, and then when you go out, see how my thumbs are forward actually? You want to go ahead and make sure you're actually turning those thumbs out. That will work all the different muscles that we're trying to work the best. All right, so you got the form down. Now we're ready to add just a little bit of weight, right? So like I said, in the starting pointers, you don't want to use heavy weights pretty much ever for this exercise. So the way that this is with our arm like straight out here, in order to work the rotator cuff muscles and those smaller upper back muscles, we need to keep the weight light. Once you start adding heavier weights, you're gonna get larger muscles taking over because those small muscles aren't capable of lifting that much weight, if that makes sense. And that's just not the purpose of this particular exercise. We save working those bigger muscles for other exercises. So it's a great thing to just start with a couple of cans. These are peach slices, very delicious, organic apple juice from concentrate. So yeah, everything else is the same, but the reason I wanted to show you this without the cans first was so that you could see my thumb position, because that thumb position will indicate where our arm is, right, in relation, like how our shoulder joint is rotated one way or the other. So now you got the cans, we're still gonna have the thumbs going out, right? We've got that little mini squat, hinged at the hips, nice neutral spine, elongated neck. We go out, T, Y, I. From the side now. All right, so that's how you do that exercise. Once you feel good doing 8 to 12 reps, a couple sets of that with the cans, you can move on to a light weight, 2 to 3 pounds or so. And the last thing I can mention is just remember that the pace of it, you saw the pace I was doing it at. I'm not like going super slow, but I'm also not like kind of like doing momentum, right? Like this. We don't want to use momentum when we do our exercises because it's not going to work the muscles. So that's it. I also have a common mistakes video you can watch and a couple variations. Thanks for being with me today, ladies. Once again, I'm Rizal, and if you're a woman in your over 40s like myself and you'd like to do full-length follow-along workouts with me using these exact same types of exercises, I also create those, and they are also done in beautiful outdoor nature settings, sometimes with snow, like right now, but usually better weather. If you like my style of teaching and you'd like to work out with me, come on over to my website at inspirefulwomen.com.